Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we've got an incredible story about a celebrated athlete's dramatic fall from grace and his even more surprising return to the world stage.
This is a comeback that very few people in the world of cricket ever saw coming. The story of Brendan Taylor is this really complex mix of brilliance on the field, scandal off the field, and what looks like a genuine shot at redemption. So, what exactly led to his exile in the first place?
39. Get that number in your head. That's how old Brendan Taylor was when he stepped back onto the field for an international cricket match in August 2025. In a sport where most top athletes have hung up their boots long before then, Taylor was just getting started. All over again.
And look, this comeback wasn't just some feel-good, sentimental gesture from the cricket board. No, it was immediately historic.
The moment he stepped onto that field against New Zealand, his career officially stretched over 21 years. That's a brand new record for the 21st century. It's just a testament to this incredible longevity that puts him in a really elite group of players in the modern era.
To really get what's going on here, we have to rewind the clock. Because before the ban, before the exile, Brendan Taylor wasn't just another star player. He was, without a doubt, the king of Zimbabwean cricket.
You see, before all the scandal and the ban, Brendan Taylor wasn't just a player for Zimbabwe. For the better part of 2 decades, he pretty much was Zimbabwean cricket. Think about it. He debuted way back in 2004 and just became the team's anchor. So elegant, so reliable. As a former captain holding the national record for the most centuries, he was so dependable they nicknamed him the Crisis Man for his almost supernatural ability to perform when the pressure was cranked up to the max.
He was a national icon. And then, almost out of nowhere, in January 2022, his entire celebrated career came to a sudden, shocking stop.
Okay, so what on earth happened? Well, his 3.5-year absence comes from this really dark chapter, one that involves a corrupt approach, blackmail, and a huge ban from the sport he loved.
The International Cricket Council, the ICC, hit him with a ban for 2 totally separate violations of their code. First, he failed to report a spot-fixing approach from back in 2019, and second, he tested positive for Benzoylecgonine, which is a metabolite of cocaine. It was this 1-2 punch that just knocked him right out of the game.
But, and this is where it gets really messy, the story behind that ban is way more complicated. Taylor claimed he was totally set up. He said he was coerced into a meeting where he was secretly filmed using cocaine, and that footage was then used to try and blackmail him into fixing matches. He took a $15,000 deposit but put off reporting it, saying he was genuinely scared for his family's safety.
Now, to his credit, Taylor didn't really make excuses. He talked about it with this brutal honesty, admitting to his substance use and saying he was in a deeply vulnerable state. All that immense pressure of his career had led him to what he himself called a grave error in judgment.
And this quote right here from Taylor, wow. It just perfectly captures the human cost behind all those headlines. His ban wasn't some holiday from cricket. It was a period of deep personal trauma. A fall that deep makes his climb back even more incredible.
So how do you even begin to come back from a place that dark? For Taylor, it wasn't a quick fix. It was a long, structured road to redemption. The path back was methodical. Right after the ban came down, he checked himself into a 90-day rehab facility. He served every single day of his 3.5-year suspension. And when it was finally over, Zimbabwe cricket decided to give their former superstar a second chance.
When you put it side by side like this, the transformation is it's stunning. In 2022, he's an outcast, he's battling addiction, he's facing all this public shame. Fast forward to 2025, and he's back on the world stage. And not just as a player, but as a veteran mentor, bringing all that priceless experience to a young Zimbabwean team.
You can just tell this wasn't just another match for him, not even close. He said it felt like making his debut all over again. The end of a long, incredibly difficult journey back to the one place he feels he truly belongs.
And you know what? He delivered. Instantly, in his very first time at bat, as the rest of the lineup was kind of falling apart around him, Taylor just stood firm. He ground out this tough, gritty 44 runs to be the top scorer for his team, proving that even at 39 years old, the crisis man was definitely back in business. So in the end, Brendan Taylor's story is really two things at once, isn't it? It's this powerful narrative of resilience, of hitting absolute rock bottom and fighting your way back. But it's also a stark cautionary tale. It's a reminder of the immense pressures and the vulnerabilities that can be hidden right behind an athlete's heroic image. What will his ultimate legacy be? Well, that's a question that only time and his performance can really answer.